Often people ask me if I actually tell my children that they're adopted. In my case, it's pretty obvious that they're adopted since they're from Guatemala, but yes, they've always known that they're adopted. And it is more of a process than a one-time thing. They have always known that they're born in Guatemala City. If people say, where were they born? They actually will very politely say, we were born in Guatemala City. But it still isn't real to them. They don't realize that everybody else wasn't born in Guatemala City. When they played dolls, when they were little girls, much younger than now, they used to line up all their baby dolls on the couch, and then they would say, okay, you go in the other room, and then I'll show you the babies, and then I'll tell you which one you get to take home. And then I would listen very closely and they would say, okay, now you have to take the plane because this is in Guatemala. So you get on the plane and you fly here, and then they would pretend to fly, and then one would be the social worker and she would say, here's your baby, aren't you happy? And then they would kiss her and hug her, and then they would take her home on the plane. And that was the way they played. That's how they believed babies came home. They now know that other babies are born, biologically to their parents, but that's what they thought. As they've gotten older, now I have a 6-year-old, and she was speaking with her friend, and it was about 6 months, maybe almost a year ago, that she was talking, and the friend was saying, which hospital were you born in? And Olivia said, well, it didn't happen like that. And she said, no, when your mom was in the hospital, which hospital were you in, Texas? And she's like, no, I wasn't born here. She said, what state were you born in? And she's like, no, it's different. And so finally I jumped in and I explained to the little girl that she was born in Guatemala. And she said, yeah, Ma, I was trying to tell her I was born in Guatemala, right? And what's that lady's name? And I said, your birth mother. And she said, yeah, I have a birth mother. And the little girl was totally bewildered. But within like 5 minutes, we just explained what had happened, and that she was born in Guatemala City, and that she had a birth mother and she has a birth father, and that when she was ready, when all her paperwork's ready, I went down and got her, and my daughter interjected very quickly, yes, as fast as she could, she went down there and took me home, and now I live with my forever family, and I'm very much happy and loved. And so that was how my daughter saw it, is that that's what happened, and it's plain and simple. And as she gets older, she'll learn more information about the process, more information about her birth mother, what we know, and things like that, and her birth father. But the 4-year-old I have knows very little, other than the fact that she has a birth mother and she was born in Guatemala City. But if it's never a secret, then it's never really a surprise, and it's never anything they fear. It's just who they are. So it becomes incorporated into their beings, and so it's not something that they ever have to. They know they can ask me anything. I will show them any document. I will show them any pictures I have about where they were born. So it's just part of who they are. It's not ever a question or a surprise.